Today, we're talking blue tape. What does it mean in a new construction home? What are we doing? Why do we do it? And the importance of what you need to know when you do your blue tape meeting with your builder on your brand new construction home. So let's get into it. Blue tape meetings or new home orientations or builder walks or you name it, and those are all kind of the synonymous for the same thing. This is one of the last things that happens on your brand new construction home. This will happen whether you're building or you're buying off a builder's inventory. It's one of the last things that happens right before you close. Most of the time, this is going to happen between 7 to 14 days before closing, and you'll do it twice. So what this is you're gonna get to walk through your home with either the builder, the builder's representative, their third-party warranty company, your realtor, all of those people. You're gonna spend some time in your house looking at every major defect. You're gonna learn how the systems in your home work. You're gonna learn how to shut your water. You're gonna learn all these different things. And then you're gonna take your blue tape and walk around and mark deficiencies and things that need to be fixed throughout the house so that they are ready to go before you close. You'll document all of that with the builder. You'll write it all down. Most of the time you'll sign it. And then usually you'll do a final walkthrough either the morning of or a day or two before closing, depending on the builder. You'll come back, you'll make sure, hey, everything that we marked, everything that we said was taken care of, was touched up, was fixed, all of that good stuff. This is also the time that we want to have our home inspection. So ideally what you want to do, let's say your builder schedules your blue tape walk for a Wednesday. What you want to do is call your home inspector and try and get them out there Monday or Tuesday of that week so that they can run through and do all the inspection stuff that they need to do. And then you have that inspection report to give to your builder at your walk. Home inspector, their job, they're going to catch a lot of systematized deficiencies, things that are broken. Your blue tape walk, you're going to catch a lot more cosmetic stuff. You'll probably catch a little bit of systems things, but you're going to catch a little bit more cosmetic than anything. So the way that works is you're going to walk through your house, tape in hand, and you're going to go and you're going to say like, oh, my light bulb thing is crooked. We're going to put a piece of tape on it, and then the builder's going to write it down, and they're going to know to get it fixed, right? You'll see builders that use blue tape, they use green tape. Basically, it's a walkthrough of your house. So what I always like to tell clients what we do is we're going to start at the front door. We're going to put our hand on a wall and we're going to work our way all the way around until that wall takes us all throughout the house and we find everything that we need to find. We're going to learn things along the way. So today I want to kind of show you some things that we want to look for when we do those blue tape walks. If we haven't met before, my name is Zach. I sell new construction here in DFW. It's what I specialize in as a realtor, not words, but new construction. So if I can help you in any way, buy or build here in DFW, my contact information at the bottom of the video. Reach out if you have questions. Would love to answer those and help you in that transaction. So let's go take a journey and kind of look at a few different things you might see in a blue tape walk with your new home builder. Okay, one thing we want to check when you do your blue tape walk is all of your doors. Make sure they and open, right? Make sure that you get a door that if it has a lock, you wanna make sure that it locks. If it has not a lock, you wanna make sure that it doesn't lock. Make sure it doesn't stick. Open all your doors, do all of that. Check those, make sure they're good to go. Also want to go into all of your bathrooms and open up your faucets. Turn your faucets on, make sure that the water comes through, make sure your water gets hot. Flush your toilets, turn your showers on, check and make sure all of those things work. You also probably want to know where your water shutoffs are. So in your bathrooms, you're gonna have probably something under the sink as a pull tab, in your laundry room, all of that stuff. So make sure you know water shutoffs. The builder should show you that as you go through your home. When you get into your garage, you're probably gonna get a little bit of paint and brick left over. What we don't want is all of that. Now, obviously, this home isn't closing yet, so the builder needs to make sure they pick up all their stuff, and they will, because sometimes they use these homes for storage. So we wanna make sure all the material gets picked up. You want to learn how to work your electrical panel, where your breakers are, how your sprinkler works, where your main water shutoff is. In a lot of these new houses, you have in your garage a main water shutoff, or it's in your laundry room, so you don't have to go digging in the yard. Make sure your builder shows you that. Get up in your attic, learn how to change your air filter, make sure all of that's good to go. Here's the pro tip. Be sure to ask your builder if they will go ahead and change the air filter. Most of the time, they're really good about that. Sometimes they forget and it's got all of that dust and pollen and dirt from the house being built. We don't want you to move in with that. Ask them to change the air filter before you close. And then here's the second pro tip on that, because you're always like, when do we change the filter? When do we change it? Get on Amazon, get online, and have a subscription service signed up for your air filter. That way you know every time the box shows up, you go change the filter. It's super easy, unless you're like me. The box shows up and then I toss it in the garage and forget about it. Before you know it, you've got like 6 air filters sitting out there and you've gotten behind. Don't do that. Learn about your water heater, whether you have a tankless water heater or a traditional water heater. If you have a tankless water heater, let me tell you from experience, I thought tankless meant instant hot, like you flip the switch and it comes and it's hot automatically. There's still physics involved. It's not instant hot, it's constant hot, which means if you have a tankless water heater, this house does not, tankless water heater, you're gonna have constant flowing hot water once it starts moving through the pipes. So you wanna learn how to work your water heater, how to shut it off, how to up the temperature, run the temperature down. Those are things you're gonna see on your Blue Tape walkthrough. You also wanna take a note and look at your baseboards and your flooring. Make sure that there's no cracks in your baseboard or your quarter round. These days with the LVP flooring, you'll see a little bit of a gap between your baseboards and your flooring. Every time we've asked about it, I've always had a builder tell us, hey, we do that so that the floor can move, so that it can breathe. And if we set it right on top of it, it avoids the warranty. You can do that after the fact, because they'll tell you, hey, if you want to do quarter round, you know, you've got baseboards, you want to add quarter round, you can, but don't freak out if you're like, oh, there's a little bit of a gap. They tell me it's normal. I run with it. That's what they say. And I've heard it from multiple different builders, multiple different price points, multiple different communities. So if you have LVP, you might have a little bit of a gap between your baseboard and your flooring so that it can move accordingly. One of my favorite things that happens in a lot of new homes is this cabinet right here. A lot of builders are adding these technology cabinets so that you have a place where your Cat5 and your coax cables and your Wi-Fi, it all terminates. It's either in your laundry room or it's in your master bedroom. This is what we're talking about, your main water shutoff. Know where that's at, especially as like we get into the winter months and there might be a freeze. You want to know where that is in case like you need to shut the water off to your house. Look for those things in your Blue Tape walk. People always ask me like, Zach, is it normal to have a lot of tape when we do these walks? Yeah, it is. So you're gonna find, you know, some houses get tape everywhere and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much tape. And I'm like, some houses you're like, oh, it's just a few minor cosmetic things. Take your time. This should take you probably an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to get through this whole process. Ask questions, take notes, ask your builder, make sure you know where your warranty books are. They're usually in a drawer somewhere in the kitchen. Just make sure you know where those are, because you're gonna wanna register all of your appliances after you move in. Take pictures if you need to, and then just make sure it all gets documented. Because this is a great time to ask any questions of like, hey, how does this work? Or what about this? Or what about that? Like, great time to ask those questions. I'll kind of show you an example of one thing we would see. Like, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a little bit of a scuff mark right there on the ceiling. Piece of tape, mark it off, and then they know they need to come in and touch it up right there. A sort of healthy rule of thumb is think about, this is gonna sound funny, but think about COVID, right? And we were like, oh, we were doing 6 feet of separation. So I always try and tell people like, hey, if you can stand somewhere and you can look probably, 3 to 6 feet in any direction and you can see that it's a problem worth marking. Now, however, if you have to get like that, oh, look at that. Oh, you can see my eyes. If you have to get like that up on the wall, you're gonna be looking at imperfections all day long and it's never going to be perfect and it's gonna drive you freaking mental. So be sure to find the big stuff, but there's always gonna be minor imperfections. There's also always gonna be things that you find after the fact. Because why? Because right now, nobody is using your shower. Like it exists, so we can come in and turn the water on. But at a certain point, you're gonna be moved in, you're gonna be living in that house and you're gonna notice like, oh, there's a leak, or oh, I never saw this before. And you're sitting on the toilet and you're like, oh, there's a cracked tile. Why didn't I see that? And it's like, well, the house wasn't being lived in, which is why so many builders give those 1-year warranties. And a lot of builders now are starting to do like a 30-day post-closing walk if you have questions. So make note of those things. Be sure to get your home inspected. I don't care who built the house. We always want to get a home inspector to show up and walk through that. If you're building from the ground up, probably a good idea to get a phase inspection, get it done every time. If you're buying off inventory, inspect it before you close. Also, you can get it inspected before your 1-year warranty. Make sure everything is taken care of and good to go. Now, here in North Texas, we have a soft clay style soil, which means it's going to expand and it's going to move. Your house is going to shift, especially as the summer heats up. You just have to take care of those things. The biggest thing I can always tell you, it's one of the biggest things I think that's important for people, is you have to understand that you, especially if you're the first time home buyer, you are now a homeowner. And there are things that fall under homeowner maintenance that you have to be responsible for. Changing your air filter, watering your foundation, caulking small minor cracks, because they're gonna happen because it's still gonna shift. Like, you have to be the homeowner. You have to take responsibility. You have to protect your investment. Now, obviously, something major breaks, yes, call your warranty, do all of those things. But as a homeowner, like, the realization you have to have is you're the person now. Like, it's you, or you have to know somebody, or you have to call somebody. And I want you to be prepared to be able to take care of that. Me, I'll just be honest with you. I am not a handyman. I can't fix things. Like, I wish I could. I'm just gonna call somebody. Like, I'm gonna call the plumber or the HVAC guy, or I'm gonna look it up on YouTube, which is, you know, how we got here. You have to make sure that you know how to maintain your home. That's what this kind of orientation is for, to walk you through how to best protect the investment that you're spending money on. Now, once all of that's done, and you've walked through your entire house and you've put your tape on everything, and you've come over to your oven and make sure it lights and all of that good stuff and played with fire, sign off with your builder, and then basically they will have 7 to 10 days, depending on when you do the first walkthrough, to get everything squared away. On the off chance that something doesn't get done, people are like, well, what happens? Well, depending on the builder, they have some sort of form that say, hey, we owe you this. Like, we need to make sure we were supposed to come do pest control and we didn't, or we were supposed to, pressure wash the driveway or whatever it is. They'll add that to the we owe, and then you'll have to coordinate post-closing on how to get that taken care of. Most of the time, they're usually really good about getting things done, squared away, at least the builders that I try to work with. So you'll do that, and then you'll go to closing, you'll sign, you'll get your keys, and you will be welcomed into your brand new home. And that, my friends, is a blue tape walk. That's it. You get to move into your new home. It's super exciting. Hey, if you have questions, or you don't know where to start, or you don't know how to look or where to look for houses here in DFW, my contact information right there at the bottom of the screen. Call, text, email, whatever you need. I'm here to help. Would love to represent you and your family in your next real estate transaction. Whether you are moving to DFW, whether you've been in DFW all your life, if you're thinking new construction, I would love to build that with you. I can't do that if you don't reach out. So, have questions, call, email, whatever. Leave me a comment down below. If you want to continue to learn about new construction, all the fun things that are happening here in DFW, subscribe to our channel. We have new content every single week, and I promise you it'll be worth it. So, we'll see you in our next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. That was a lot of fun. We'll do it again. Bye for now.